Hello everyone, it's Karen McLaughlin, Certified Personal Trainer here in Hamilton, Ontario. Here with you as usual for my Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Facebook Live broadcast. And today I'm going to be sort of picking up where I left off last week with my part 3 of my diet cleanup series, but part 3 is kind of happening in little stages, so this is 3B. Of Eat Your Veggies. Number 1, because it's a super important topic and I really want you guys to be eating lots of veggies, and I know most of you aren't doing it, so I decided I was going to spend a little bit more time with this topic, and also that I wanted to try making a series of like shorter videos that you guys could ingest quickly, because I know I've made a lot of videos that are 30-40 minutes, and sometimes you just don't have time to listen to me for that long. So I'm going to try and keep this one hopefully under 15. Let's see if I can do it. I don't know. It'll be a first. Anyway, so what's part 3B of eating your veggies? Today I'm going to be talking about making sure you get lots of leafy greens in your diet. And this is like true confession time, because this is one of the areas where I've really struggled. I didn't grow up in a house where there was really leafy greens ever. Like, we had like the Tupperware container with had an iceberg lettuce in there, and that's pretty much my experience of greens growing up. So it took me a long time to kind of really get into the idea of eating greens, like the darker leafy ones, and sort of eating them on a regular basis and really just making friends with them, because it wasn't familiar. But I'm happy to report that, I keep telling you guys, if you need to change up what you're eating, eventually your taste buds do change, and sometimes things that taste unfamiliar at first, you will grow to like them. So if this is one area that's challenging for you, I'm just going to encourage you. Like, the more you eat it, the more you're going to actually enjoy it. I know it might be hard to believe, but give it a whirl, see what you think. So why should we eat leafy greens? Number 1, they are a super low calorie and high nutrient dense food. So for those of us who have hit like the over 40 mark, this becomes extra important, because we don't have as many calories to play around with anymore. We can't eat, my son, 2 teenage boys, they probably eat 4,000 calories a day, whereas I'm probably eating half of that. So I need to be a lot pickier about where I'm getting my calories, and making sure that I'm maximizing the nutrition for my calorie intake. So greens really fit the bill there. They're just packed full of nutrients. Like I said, a huge plate of greens generally has like maybe 10 or 20 calories. They're super low, and you're getting vitamin K. They're a great source of vitamin C, potassium, beta carotene, trifolate, vitamin E. Pretty much all of your greens across the board are going to be fairly good sources of all of those. The exact nutrient profile is obviously going to differ somewhat depending on exactly the green, but generally speaking, all greens will have those nutrients in them. Depending on the specific green, some are quite good sources of calcium, magnesium, or manganese. So those ones, it's not in everything, but you get the point. There's a lot of good stuff in there for you, very little calories. And those types of foods are ones that you always want to look out for, because they're like nutritional powerhouses. And the second thing about greens is that it's one of those foods that humans have pretty much always been eating since there's been humans around. And my personal philosophy is, if humans have always been eating something since the beginning of human time, probably it's something that is an important part of our diet, and it's probably A, not bad for us if we've always been eating it, and B, it probably is doing good things for us if it's always naturally been a part of our human diet. So unfortunately in modern times it's naturally not been as much of a part of our diet, which is why I'm talking to you about it now. But historically it was always something that we were eating as humans. So I think that probably stands to reason that it is important, and it probably does provide us with things that we're not even aware of yet, because nutritional science hasn't figured everything out yet. So Anyway, I hope that convinces you that you should probably include them in your diet. So how much do you want to include? I'd say like 1 to 2 cups per day is a good ballpark to shoot for. Like a cup of raw greens is considered to be 1 serving. So, that would be 1 to 2 servings of your vegetables per day from leafy greens. And for those of you who aren't eating any yet, I know you're like, oh my gosh, that sounds like a lot. But if you are eating some, but you're not eating that much, or you may be inconsistent, I'm going to put a challenge to you to try and consistently try to get at least 1 cup a day of leafy greens. And if you missed last week and you're wondering what that was, I was talking about avocados and how I eat half to a whole avocado a day, and so that's like 1 to 2 servings of vegetables, because half an avocado is a serving. So if you do half an avocado and 2 cups of leafy greens, that's 3 out of your 5 servings of vegetables right there. Like, wow. I think I just did that with my lunchtime salad. Actually, I had a fantastic salad with a huge plate of greens, half an avocado, had some leftover roasted turkey and some havarti. I made a really good salad. Anyway, so this doesn't have to be punishment. A lot of people are like, oh, greens. They're not. People don't seem to be too enthusiastic about greens, generally speaking, and they kind of look like something they have to force themselves to eat. So I hope I'm going to get you beyond that. And as I just listed off that huge variety of greens, I hope that maybe got you thinking how you can expand your repertoire a bit. I know even I get a little stuck on just, and there's nothing wrong with, like those times when life is crazy and you just get the big container of pre-washed salad greens because you can just throw them on your plate and it's quick. If that's what you gotta do, that's what you gotta do. And, that's way better than not eating any greens at all. I'm going to challenge myself to try and buy more wider variety of greens over the course of this growing season, and to buy them from some of the local farmers markets, from some of the small farmers that I know, because they'll be better quality, and of course I'm supporting the little guys, which I always like to do. So that's my personal challenge I'm going to try with greens over the summer. And so what are some ideas of how you can get your 1 to 2 cups of greens in? Well, some of the more obvious ones, like green smoothies, are really big these days, and I'm going to confess that it's not my favorite, personally, I'm really picky about my smoothies. I just don't like green stuff. I don't even like my beloved avocados in my smoothies, but if that works for you, I know a lot of people throw a ton of spinach in their smoothies, or even like kale, I think. It's not my thing, but it may be your thing. So if you want to give it a try, and I know people that throw this stuff in like berry smoothies and stuff like that and insist that they can't even tell it's there. Or you can just make a straight up like green smoothie with all the green stuff. Parsley actually is another one that's really popular for putting in like a green smoothie. And I already said how much I love parsley. So a smoothie is one way. Obviously, salad, we know, you don't need me to tell you to make a salad with green leaves, because we do that. And I find like now in the warmer weather, I really want salads. Like in the colder weather, I'm a person who likes to eat like warming foods because I'm always chilly. So in the warmer months, like a cold salad is much more appealing for me, and so maybe that'll work for you too. So, and you can really easily get 2 cups of greens in if you make like a main course salad, or even a side salad, really. Some other ways, though, you can work greens in that you might not have thought about, especially in the winter when you may not feel so inclined to eat salads. Like I throw them in soups or stews. So things like chopped up kale or spinach work really great for doing that, particularly. I actually make a totally green soup, like a cream of green soup, which maybe I'll share that recipe with you guys sometime. I tend to give that out to my clients, but you can also throw it in, like if you're making a rice dish, chopped up parsley or wilted spinach or some kale would work really well, just sort of tossed into your rice. And you can even sort of do that like at the very end of the cooking time, so it doesn't get like overcooked. adding it to other types of, adding greens to other types of salads, like non-leafy green salads. So if you're making like potato salads, or if you're making any kind of grain-based salads, or if you're making even like a chicken salad or a turkey salad or something like that, go ahead and like finely chop up some greens and throw them in. Like parsley is one that works wonderfully for that, and kale can work, really finely chopped kale can work well for that too. But like I already said at least once, probably more than once, I love parsley, and I think it's an underrated, like really underrated food in general. So parsley works really wonderfully in many different types of salads like that, and it just brings a whole deliciously fresh element to dishes, and I think you'll really like it. Luckily, I'm so glad my whole family loves parsley, so I can just add like huge handfuls of it to everything. So that's another way to get the job done. And another thing is eggs and greens. Eggs and greens really seem to just go well together. So if you're just doing like a scrambled egg, you can quickly saute some spinach in there with it, or kale, or parsley, or all three. You can make frittatas, you can make quiches, and like they will just take a ton of greens. If you've ever cooked spinach and wilted it, you know how a huge pan of spinach wilts down to next to nothing. So making an egg dish like that is a really great way to just get a lot of greens packed into there really quickly. And I think that's probably all of the main ways that I use greens. You can certainly sneak little bits in, like, you know, if you're gonna have a sandwich, throw some spinach leaves on it, you know, or like just like a pocket sandwich. You can, like a pita, you can even jam more stuff in there. Even my 17-year-old son's gotten into like piling the spinach leaves on his sandwich, so I'm happy to see that. I think I might actually be influencing him finally. You know, so really the point is there's a ton of ways. Like, don't just think about it being salad on a plate, and I think you'll figure out a lot more ways that you can incorporate greens into your life, you know, in all 3 meals of your day, not just at your salad at dinner. And really, you know, let's go for that wide variety. Remember that whole list I just said? Let's see if we can, you know, not just lettuce, not just spinach. Let's get an expanded repertoire of greens. And I know, like, some of them, because they all do have different flavors, and certainly some are more bitter than others, and some are, like, mustard greens are really spicy, and my husband loves them, and I'm like, woo! So something like that I'll work in just a tiny bit, you know, into a big mixed green. So if you're trying something new, you know, maybe throw it in a tossed salad and just throw, like, you know, if you're not sure, you know, just toss a little bit of beet greens or a little bit of mustard greens or a little bit of arugula in there with the stuff you're used to, and see what you think about it. And maybe you don't ever want to eat like a plate of just that, but it might be something you can work into the mix. Okay? I actually think that is all I have to say for this week about greens, other than that I know that you can do this. And, you know, if you have any other suggestions for ways you love to use greens, I'd love to hear them. You know, if you're struggling with it, let me know that too. And just know, you know, it is possible to make these changes if it's something that you're not used to doing. Just habit hack it away, just like I say about everything else. You know, pick it as your one thing that you're going to work on, and just focus on it. How can I do this daily? Make a plan, and then rock the plan. Okay? Because as I've said many times before, once it's just building a routine. All this stuff is building routines and habits, and so it feels hard now because you're not used to doing it, but once you start doing it, it gets easier and easier and easier. And then the more you focus on being reliable about doing it every day, it just becomes part of your routine. And then before you know it, you're going to be eating half an avocado every day and 2 cups of salad greens. Woohoo! And you'll be well on your way to getting 5 servings of vegetables a day, which is my goal for you. So if you're not already rocking the avocado, I hope you work on that. And if you already are, then move along to making sure you're getting 1 to 2 cups of greens a day. and have a fantastic week. And I will see you next Tuesday at 2 p.m. Bye for now.